When it comes to Drake, things have officially reached a completely different level. The leaks, the controversy, the nonstop chaos, somehow it just keeps getting messier. A new snippet recently surfaced where Drake takes shots at Kendrick Lamar, Schoolboy Q, Serena Williams, and multiple other people. Honestly, this might be the biggest crash-out record Drake has ever previewed. If you think Kendrick and Schoolboy Q would absolutely destroy Drake in a rap battle right now, leave a like. And if you think the Iceman era is slowly turning into a complete disaster, leave a like for that too. By the time this video is over, you'll probably already know exactly where you stand on all this, so subscribe and let's get into it. This entire Iceman rollout feels like Drake desperately trying to stay relevant, stay talked about, and keep people emotionally invested in his name somehow. The standards have fallen dramatically, and now the newest tactic is yet another leaked snippet. Whether Drake leaked it himself or whether hackers are actually behind it honestly doesn't even matter anymore. What matters is what's being said inside the song, and those lyrics are already causing problems.
What's becoming increasingly obvious is that Drake has quietly been writing diss records this entire time behind the scenes. The same guy who spent months sounding more focused on lawsuits than battle rap suddenly wants to jump back into dissing people publicly, and these aren't subtle subliminals either. He's openly naming names. So the same person who tried framing diss tracks like legal issues is now releasing songs full of direct shots himself. The hypocrisy is impossible to ignore. These are the actual bars Drake previewed. He says, "Serena, but I'm cool with Venus. I be hanging around those like I'm Dua Lipa." Then follows it with, "I might hit up Schoolboy Q and do a remix. They be making peanuts. We don't ever piece it up, the stuff we got between us." And that's basically the snippet. But honestly, the fact these exact lines were the first thing previewed tells you everything about the mindset behind this project. It's driven almost entirely by bitterness.
Either Drake himself or whoever leaked the snippet clearly wanted people talking about Iceman again. Because at this point, the only thing consistently driving attention around Drake is watching him publicly spiral and take shots at people who embarrassed him. That's the strategy now. Not exciting music, just controversy. And while Serena and Schoolboy Q both got dragged into this situation, one thing becomes obvious immediately. It's honestly impressive how somebody can act this hypocritical while simultaneously releasing some of the weakest material of their career. Let's just be honest about this. The entire thing looks bad. Drake spent an entire era trying to shift conversations about rap beef toward lawsuits and legal consequences. And now suddenly he's back releasing diss tracks packed with direct name drops. The exact thing he previously criticized is now exactly what he's doing himself. If this song officially releases, every argument Drake previously made about diss tracks having legal consequences instantly falls apart. And honestly, fine, drop it.
I genuinely want him to release the full track, because once he does, he officially puts himself back in the line of fire. He can't openly diss people while also hiding behind legal action anymore. And honestly, it would be entertaining to hear Schoolboy Q respond. It would be interesting to see anyone from Kendrick's side really challenge him properly, because Drake has absolutely earned whatever responses come back his way now. At the same time though, every rapper probably still has one concern before responding: the possibility that Drake could turn rap beef into actual legal drama if things stop going his way again, because that's the reputation he's built around himself recently. But regardless of that concern, once you really examine these lyrics and who they target, this song should permanently destroy any credibility Drake still had when it comes to suing over rap beef.
Because the first major target here isn't even another rapper, it's Serena Williams, someone who can't respond through music because that's not her world. And this isn't even new behavior for Drake. Back in 2022, on Middle of the Ocean, he already mocked Serena through comments aimed at her husband. Now he's dragging Venus into the situation too, basically implying they still communicate. The entire thing feels like he's intentionally trying to create tension between two sisters, and honestly, it comes across extremely petty. Even if somebody wanted to treat every lyric in rap beef like factual evidence, Drake's intentions here still feel obvious. He's trying to create awkwardness between Serena and Venus. That's difficult to deny regardless of how loyal somebody is to Drake. And honestly, it's strange behavior coming from a grown man, still emotionally attached to a relationship that ended years ago.
And this highlights a much larger pattern.
Is Drake's primary strategy in rap beef always centered around attacking people's personal relationships? Because there are examples everywhere. Serena and Venus, ASAP Rocky and Rihanna, Kendrick and Whitney, Kendrick and Baby Keem, Kendrick and Dave Free, Pusha T and his wife, Kim Kardashian. Almost every Drake conflict eventually shifts away from rap credibility and towards families, relationships, and personal lives instead. Obviously, rap beef doesn't come with strict rules, so technically personal attacks are fair game. But Drake repeating the exact same strategy over and over again has become predictable and honestly pretty corny. It stopped feeling competitive a long time ago. Instead of battle rap energy, it feels more like someone genuinely trying to hurt people personally. Like Kendrick said on Euphoria, once a lame, always a lame.
And on top of that, Drake's entire post-beef energy has become repetitive. He constantly repeats that he'll never reconcile with anyone associated with Kendrick's side. We've heard countless versions of the exact same statement already. And sure, refusing to make peace with people who embarrassed you makes sense in theory. But when those statements are attached to weak TDE disses, it stops sounding intimidating. It sounds like someone desperately trying to appear tough, while the music itself keeps collapsing. Because Drake's cycle lately has been obvious. Diss somebody, get embarrassed, threaten legal action, then repeat everything again. And now he's right back at the beginning of that cycle. Clearly, this strategy isn't working. And honestly, the Schoolboy Q line proves it perfectly. Drake isn't just insulting Q there. He's trying to portray Kendrick's entire camp as irrelevant. But that argument instantly falls apart once you examine Drake's own label situation. Because while Drake calls TDE peanuts, one of OVO Sound's formerly hyped artists is literally working full-time as a chef now.
So Drake, the person running OVO Sound, a label with one of the weakest mainstream rap rosters in recent memory, is trying to clown somebody else's crew. Meanwhile, most OVO artists barely touch the charts. PartyNextDoor is basically the only major success story, and even his momentum seems to have slowed down the more connected he became to Drake's brand. Those are Drake's own results. Now compare that to Kendrick's camp. Baby Keem's second album debuted at number 4 on Billboard, sold nearly 80,000 copies first week, and had 10 songs charting simultaneously. PartyNextDoor's latest album sold around 30,000 first week. Kendrick's protege outperformed Drake's biggest artist by a huge margin. That's the opposite of peanuts. And honestly, it makes Drake's Schoolboy Q diss look ridiculous.
Because Schoolboy Q is not some random underground artist. He's multi-platinum, consistently successful, touring arenas, and owns one of the strongest catalogs from the 2010s. Oxymoron and Blank Face LP are already considered modern classics by many hip-hop fans. Tracks like Collard Greens and Man of the Year still hit hard today. Calling Schoolboy Q peanuts isn't just inaccurate, it's objectively false, and Drake definitely knows that. What makes Drake's decision even stranger is that he actually had easier targets inside TVE if he wanted to push that angle. Somebody like Ab-Soul, whose commercial success never fully matched his talent, would have at least made more strategic sense. Instead, Drake targeted arguably the second biggest commercial artist in TDE history behind Kendrick himself. That's not calculated at all. It just makes Drake look disconnected from the landscape he's trying to criticize. Schoolboy Q genuinely deserves more recognition than he gets. Blue Lips, Oxymoron, and Blank Face together form one of the best 3 album runs any rapper has had in the last 15 years. Critical acclaim, hit records, cultural impact, Q checked every possible box. The only reason he doesn't receive broader recognition is because he shares a label with Kendrick Lamar. In almost any other scenario, his catalog alone would define a legendary career. And Drake's grand strategy here is apparently trying to convince people that Schoolboy Q is some irrelevant underground nobody? This is supposed to save Iceman? Honestly, the entire thing is becoming unintentionally hilarious. Drake looks so lost right now that there's barely any way left to hide it. There's no clever spin remaining. He genuinely seems unsure of what direction he's even trying to take anymore. And when you step back and examine the bigger picture, every major conversation surrounding the Iceman era has been about Drake publicly failing or beefing with somebody. Nobody is genuinely discussing the music itself. Nobody sounds excited about the artistic direction. People click on Drake content now because they want to watch the chaos unfold, not because the music feels compelling anymore. Even the snippets themselves sound completely lifeless. The flows sound exhausted, the delivery feels empty, and the production lacks energy. Some of these instrumentals honestly sound like the blandest music Drake has ever released. Nothing about this project feels creatively inspired. And honestly, it explains why the album reportedly keeps getting scrapped and rebuilt repeatedly, because nothing sounds like it was created with an actual vision.
The mixing, the auto-tune, the overall atmosphere, everything feels hollow. And the more snippets that leak, the harder it becomes to believe Iceman will actually turn out good. Every new reveal somehow makes the project look worse instead of better. This genuinely feels like it's becoming one of the biggest potential disappointments hip-hop has seen in years, and Drake himself is building that outcome step by step. Everything is riding on this album for Drake right now. The pressure couldn't possibly be bigger, and with every day that passes, the odds of him successfully pulling this off seem smaller and smaller. There's no direction, no vision, no strong strategy, just chaos. And these snippets aren't creating excitement, they're making people nervous about how bad the final project could actually sound.
And this is really the core issue. If Drake's only remaining way to generate conversation now is through dissing people, while already carrying the reputation of someone who runs toward lawyers when things get difficult, nobody's fully going to take the bait seriously anymore. Watch carefully how Schoolboy Q and the rest of hip-hop respond over the next few days. Because if Drake officially starts dropping songs with direct name drops like this, the reaction is going to reveal a lot. We already saw how rappers reacted to J. Cole stepping away from beef. Drake would probably receive an even harsher response. Because even critics still respect what J. Cole contributed to hip-hop as an artist. Drake doesn't currently have that same level of goodwill anymore. This entire situation feels like it's heading somewhere ugly for him, and there doesn't seem to be any clean way out now. It's rare to see an album rollout collapse this badly before the album even officially arrives. And with more Iceman updates probably still coming soon,
all anybody can really do now is sit back and watch everything unfold in real time. Because this no longer feels like a comeback album. It doesn't feel like a statement project either. It feels like a slow-motion train wreck packed with weak bars, recycled grudges, and absolutely no real artistic vision holding everything together. At this point, all you can really do is watch the crash happen. And if you want something genuinely interesting after all this, Kendrick Lamar apparently hit a subtle 50-cent diss inside one of his recent songs, and almost nobody caught it, which honestly just reminds people once again why Kendrick is viewed as one of the smartest and most strategic rappers alive today. Check out the suggested video.